Okay, hello everybody, welcome to Tìandtarot. Today's reading is all about your power, why you have it, what it's used for, what it will bring into your life, both negative and positive. And it is a pick a pile reading today. So if you don't know how pick a pile readings work, you basically choose intuitively which pile you feel most drawn to based on either the cards, the way it looks, or the crystals, or object that's on top. Today we've got a mix of crystals that basically represent wands, as we are talking about power today. So for pile 1 we have a sage bundle with a few bunny tails and other dried flowers attached and some lavender. For pile 2 we have a handmade wand with a quartz piece on the end and some vegan suede tying the sticks together. For pile 3 we have this selenite wand. I actually use this one to cleanse a lot of my cards and crystals. And for pile 4 we have an obsidian wand. Okay, so once you have picked your pile, feel free to head down into the description box below where there will be a timestamp for your pile, and I will see you there. Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading all about your power. So let's get into your cards. So you have New Start with Rebirth, Dreams and Creativity. You also have the Mirror. Okay. So right off the bat, I would say that your power is being able to see very clearly the truth in a situation or a person, a relationship. You can clearly see when something doesn't work, when you need to leave, when the relationship or this situation has run its course, and you are really good at knowing when to remove yourself from this situation and how to start again. You know how to kind of uproot, take all the resources that you have with you and know that you are enough on your own and that you can start again at any point, anywhere with the resources that you have. You're really good at self-reflection. I definitely think this sort of third eye sight, you kind of have this kind of insight into the reality of situations. You kind of have a really deep introspection. You have a really clear, deep outlook on things that is very accurate. And that is your power, being able to see the truth. And I think this level of clarity and kind of spirituality and clairvoyance that you have really comes through heavily in your creativity. It comes in your dreams. So you might have very vivid kind of dreams, which and very, very active creative bursts. So you might have a lot of like downloads of like a creative idea for like an art project or a book or something, and they just come to you really rapidly. And I think that is your power kind of coming out, finding other areas to come out from, because it can build up and be stored within you, and then to a point where everything just cracks and reveals itself and the truth comes out. So now let's get into the positives of your power. What does your power bring in positively for you? Your power is really good at attracting love especially in the form of like other people. I think you definitely, because you can see the truth, I do think you are capable of self-love. So that's not really an issue for you. So the next thing that comes in is, because you do see the truth for what it is, you can recognize negative people, negative situations. That means, on the other hand, you're also able to identify really good people and really good situations and places where you don't need to start again and you could probably settle down. And I think that means that you're really good at bringing in the right friends, the right partners, the right relationships. You know who to go into business with and maybe who not to. So I think that is one of the positives of your gifts, is that you do attract kind of the best people, as well as being able to recognize the worst kind of people, situations, and being able to stay away from that. You also know who to go towards, who to be drawn towards. It invites a lot of love into your life. What might be a downside to your gift? I feel like the downside to your gift is that there always seems to be a kind of choice you have to make, a road you have to go down. There always seems to be a resolution that has to be reached in every situation, every person. There's almost always a karmic lesson. There's almost always something you have to scrutinize. Like, you have to, every time you meet a person, you kind of feel like they either will be good or will be bad, and which one is it? And it's kind of your job to figure it out and work through that. And that can be exhausting sometimes. Like, sometimes can't it just be that they are who they are and they're in your life for a reason? Like, why do you have to always uproot, start again, make these decisions, and constantly have to begin again? How about the trash takes itself out? Like, why do you always have to take the trash out? Why do you always have to be the one to move, to start again, to work on yourself, to leave that situation and maybe the good things that came with it behind, and have to start again somewhere else? I think that can feel exhausting. It's the constant movement, it's the constant action that you have to take as the truth seer, as the person who can see situations for what they really are. So that can be a downside to it, but the good part of that is that in every move, in every time that you start again, in every shift away from someone bad, there's someone good waiting on the other side for you. So that is one of the positives. Okay. So now I just want to get 2 cards as to why pile 1 has been given this gift. Why pile 1 was given this gift. Okay, so you have, I find wisdom and maturity through spiritual growth with green adventuring, healing, abundance, growth, throat, third eye, and crown, Taurus. Okay, so you were given this gift to basically speak up and stand up for both yourself and other people. You were given this gift so that you could make a difference, learn to use your voice, learn to be powerful. And in standing up for yourself, in standing up for others, in recognizing the truth, and being able to move away from negative situations and move towards positive situations, you are constantly on this like journey of healing and growing and abundance and bringing in this kind of love and goodness. You are supposed to have this power to make a difference in people's personal lives, not necessarily in their kind of, career or material lives. It's more about helping people emotionally and helping yourself emotionally. And definitely this kind of constant reflection on the people around you as well as yourself helps you to become such a really mature, well-rounded, wholesome person, a really like loving and kind and healing soul. That's why you were given this power, so that you could kind of heal and heal others with this kind of talent of yours. I've also noticed that there's a lot of 2s in this reading. there's a 2 here as well as over here. And for absolutely no reason, I'm feeling 2 energy from this card. So I definitely feel like there's always 2 roads, 2 choices, 2 types of categories that you kind of slot people into. And that's definitely a heavy experience. It's a heavy weight to carry. And I feel like every power that somebody has always comes at like a price. It is always like kind of a heavy burden. But it also means that you can really clearly see these 2 paths. Like you can clearly see the good, the bad, the good opportunities, the bad opportunities, when to go towards something, when to move away from it. And that's really good because that means you can always move towards the good stuff and the stuff that's meant for you. So yeah, that was your reading today, Pile 1. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. If you were drawn to any other piles today, then feel free to go down into the description box below and click on the timestamp to that pile and watch that one as well. If not, I do hope to see you next week for another reading. Bye. Okay, hello Pile 2, welcome to your reading all about your power. Let's get into your cards today. Okay, so you have positivity with success, wellness and focus. And you also have the 8 of Spring, which I do believe is the 8 of Wands. Well, akin to the 8 of Wands. It's not really supposed to be the 8 of Wands. So I think you are really good at being positive, but also manifesting the things you want. With a combination of really good manifestation skills and your power being your positivity, you are really able to focus on what it is you want and build it up from nothing, build it up from scratch basically, and kind of build yourself towards success with your attitude. I think your approach to life, this really sort of like optimistic, positive, eager outlook and approach, is your power, and it really brings in a lot of success for you, and it makes you a really happy, kind of healthy, comfortable person. Your well-being basically stays intact because of this attitude that you have, because of this power. Okay, so let's look at what positive things your power brings into your life. What positive things does Pile 2's power bring in for them? Okay, so you got 2 cards for the positives. So you got the Loon, and then you also have the 6 of Spring, which, 6 of Wands. So I'm just going to move these over a little bit. So this is really amazing. So with the Moon, there is, or the Loon, there's an air of mystery with this card. So you might not necessarily know or expect this to be a part of your future, or even it might, be relevant now, but I feel like this is something you're not yet aware of that is going to come into your life. But I think you don't realize that your positivity has kind of set you on a path that is bound for sort of otherworldly success. Like, you really are going to achieve everything you want in life. Even if it doesn't feel like that now, or if your life doesn't reflect that now. This, by maintaining your power, by maintaining your positivity and your really great manifestation skills, you are going to make all the right connections and the right choices in life that do lead you towards greatness or the future that you kind of want. Like, picture your ideal outcome in life, and that is what your power is manifesting for you. One of the benefits of your power is that you can definitely get the success that you want in life with this attitude that you have. With the 6 of Spring, I think in order to, one of the positive things about all the good things that's coming in because of this positivity that you have, in regards to the 6 of Spring, is that because you're so positive, you almost take all the risks necessary to achieve complete success. Like, you have this courage, this kind of eagerness to move forward and tackle the next thing. Even if, sometimes there's some hiccups, some hurdles that you have to get through, because you're such a positive person, you don't really let that hold you back and kind of make you pull away from the things you want. You actually continue to move forward despite setbacks, and that is very courageous, and that is the key to helping you grow as a person and bringing in that positive growth and opportunity, is that you are so positive that you end up continuing to move forward. You don't let any sort of hurdles deter you from what it is you want. And that is one of the good things about this power, is that it helps you to keep going, it helps you to be courageous. And what is something maybe negative about this power for pole 2? Okay. So you had 2 cards again. So you have the mirror and digitals. So I think with regards to these 2 cards, something negative about this kind of positivity is that there's almost a lack of balance in being so positive and not having the kind of negative to kind of outweigh that. You run the risk of burning out instead of yo-yoing between these 2 emotions of feeling positive, feeling negative, and then going back to positivity and back to negativity. When you're just on a constant stream of positivity, you don't kind of get that break from it, and so you kind of gain this almost negative, or not negative, but I'd say like false positivity, where you feel like sometimes your positivity is like a mask and you're just using it to push through hurdles. You're just using it to kind of keep going and to keep pretending like everything's okay, even if like the house is on fire. It kind of feels like, your house is on fire but you're watering a plant, because you're like, don't worry, when I water this plant, I can then propagate it, make a second plant, and when that plant grows, they will both take up all the oxygen in the room so the fire burns out. And like, none of that applies to the situation, and that's not going to help the fire that is definitely moving towards you. So sometimes it can feel like the positivity it can feel like your positivity is unhelpful, which isn't the case, but that is one of the negative sides of it, is that sometimes you feel like that emotion doesn't fit in that certain situation, and yet it's all you kind of know to do. And you don't really know how to handle negativity or how to approach negativity in a healthy way, and you can't really cope with those negative emotions, and so you just always have this kind of positive persona, because the negative stuff you shy away from. You find that hard to deal with. You find it hard to acknowledge when things have gone wrong and admit that they were wrong, as opposed to someone who is perhaps more balanced and would be able to recognize, yep, that was a failing. Yeah, I see where I went wrong, but instead you would kind of not do that. You would pretend that everything was okay and everything was good, even if it very clearly wasn't, and you feel like sometimes that's a bit heavy, like that's a bit of a heavy thing to ignore and to go through. And then it can also cause a lack of self-reflection in not acknowledging where you or others have made mistakes. You kind of prevent yourself from reflecting inwardly and growing. So you're kind of staying in the same kind of emotional state because you aren't recognizing the negatives of a situation. For example, say you're in like a toxic work environment. Instead of admitting, actually, yeah, this work environment's not great and that was negative, maybe I should go to HR and do something about this because someone was really rude to me in a meeting or something. Instead of you doing that, you would be like, no, that person was actually really nice, and I actually don't feel like what they did was that bad, and it actually helped me because the criticism was kind of positive in that now I know to never make that mistake again, or something like that. And so in doing that, you kind of deny yourself the opportunity to be removed from that situation and to be in a more positive space. And you also deny yourself the ability to grow through that situation by being brave and standing up to that person, and by sort of engaging in what would be seen as a negative situation, but is actually a positive because it gets you out of that situation. So, for example, instead of going to HR because you feel like that would be cruel or negative, you just ignore it. But then that means you're the one suffering at the end of the day. So in trying to be positive and trying to be nice to everyone and please everyone as well as, you know, yourself, you almost let yourself down a little bit, which can be a side effect of being such a positive and happy person, is that people take advantage of that and you may not know when to say enough is enough and put your foot down, essentially. So on the one hand, you can get literally all the success you want and everything you're looking for, but on the other hand, you can be put in situations that you find difficult to climb out of, where people are taking advantage of you or where you just feel like a lack of balance in your emotions. Okay, and now let's look at why this power came to you. Why is pile 2's power positivity? Why did this power find them? Okay, so you have, this is very similar to pile 1. I see clearly and speak with confidence. You have the number 3. You have lapis lazuli, communication, intuition, inner power, chakras third eye and throat, zodiac Sagittarius and Libra. So you were given this positivity and this power so that, almost as an element of a cosmic test, people would be put in your path or people or situations that are not meant for you would be put in your path, and you are tested as to how well you communicate in those situations. Are you standing up for yourself? Are you using your voice? Are you, admitting when someone or something is not right for you, or where it was an unjust situation where you were wrongfully treated? Are you communicating that and standing up for yourself, or are you just plastering on, an element of positivity to kind of keep the situation as it is so that you don't rock the boat, but then, let yourself down? That's why you were given the power, so that you could test your confidence and whether or not you would speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself. But also, you're given this positivity to kind of align with your courage. It was put there to make you more courageous. It was put there so you would speak up for yourself, so you would speak out when you want an opportunity and you want to go after it. For example, say there's a project you want to work on at work. Are you going to sit there and let that opportunity pass because you want, to give everyone else a fair shot? Or are you going to give yourself a fair shot and stand up and say, I would actually really like to work on that because it would help me progress in my career, and then lead you to success? You have to work on actually using your voice alongside your positivity, because that positivity is so powerful when it is combined with courage and clear communication. You can actually achieve anything you want. So that is why the power came into your life. Okay, part 2, so that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe down below. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to go and check that out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week for another reading. Bye. Okay, welcome pile 3 to your reading all about your power. You chose the selenite wand. So let's get into your cards now. So your power is creativity, imagination, innovation, and vision. You also have the the 10 of spring, which is essentially the 10 of wands, basically. So I'm going to put that card there, and this one here. So your power is your creativity. You have a vivid imagination. Maybe you're like a maladaptive daydreamer. You're really innovative with your ideas. You come up with a lot of new perspectives and new ideas that other people haven't come up with yet, because you're such a creative person and you really have a vision for projects. You can really like have a lot of foresight into situations because of that creativity, and you're really good at manifesting those creative ideas into reality. And I think because you get so many ideas, because you are such a creative person, you may potentially have a tendency to avoid those kind of creative projects that come to you in almost like a download. I feel like sometimes you might think like, you might receive like, I don't know, 10 book project ideas. You've got 10 stories that you want to write, and you're like, wow, that's a lot. You know what, I just realized I have to tidy, deep clean like my whole flat right now. And so you kind of ignore it and try and like busy yourself with other projects, because there's just so much. You don't even know what to do with this power. It's too much almost for you. I think a really good fix for that is when you get like a creative idea, before you do anything else, have a notebook and don't allow yourself to get distracted. Don't be like, okay, yeah, let me clean the flat first, then I'll write it. No. Get the journal out, write down the idea just as it comes, really messily. Like, don't go into detail, just be like, okay, book idea, A leads to B, B leads to C. Then you give yourself permission to walk away from that idea, sit on the creativity, walk away from it, kind of let it fester, do your other things that you have to do, and then come back to it. Just make sure you write down the idea as it comes, and make sure you've got like journals in every room of the house and in your bag when you're outside, or you can use your notes app on your phone, and just make sure you get down those creative ideas, because you don't want them to pass up, you don't want to lose those. And if you do lose those, that's okay, because it's your power. You'll get loads more. So don't worry, it doesn't matter if it does go away, because you will get a lot of creative ideas. Okay, so let's look into the positives of this power. What are the positive? Okay, so for positives, you have Four of Summer, which is essentially kind of like the Four of Cups, basically. And then for negatives, what is the negative downside of this creativity? You have the Witch for the negative aspects of this power. Okay, so I think a negative side to this creativity is that you can definitely feel trapped by all these ideas. When all of these things kind of come in, it makes you feel paralyzed by inactivity, because you're almost like, okay, I've got so much to do, 10 different projects. I don't know which one to start with, what one's best, what one is going to be most fruitful. So I'm just not going to do anything. And I feel like a good way around that is to not think of the outcome of the situation. Don't think what one is going to be the most successful, what project is going to make me the happiest, or what project's going to, let go of the control of the outcome and just enjoy the journey and start the project and see where it goes. If you don't like it, time has not been wasted. You had fun, up until the point you didn't, and now you're moving on to a different project, definitely don't feel held back by it, but that is something that comes with the creativity, is kind of this paralysis where you're like, what do I do? What project should I work on? And then I think one of the positives of this power is that you have so many choices. Like, you just have so many opportunities and options. You can break free from the conformity of life. You don't necessarily need a traditional path or want a traditional path. Like, you don't necessarily need to go for a 9-to-5 job, or go for a job that's like very like typical to hear. If you ask someone what they work as, they might say they work in an office as, a writer, an editor, an administrator, or something like that. Like, very usual jobs. I think you might have a very unusual, kind of unheard of job if you want. Like, you could do that. Because you just are such a creative person, you know how to apply yourself to so many different things and have like so many different projects on. So I think you don't need to necessarily follow one set path, and that is a really good positive to this power, is that you can choose any path you want and you'd be good at it, because you're just such a creative person. You would know how to approach it with this new mindset that like no one's ever seen before, and so you would always be valuable in whatever road or journey or path you chose. You just have so many ideas that you're never going to lack in opportunities for new projects and new hobbies, and investing in yourself and investing in time for yourself and time for these endeavors. You're always going to have something. So even if you had like 20 ideas of different hobbies you'd like to try, and you tried them all and you were like, no, I don't really like that, that's fine, because tomorrow you're going to have another 20 just coming into your mind, like, of what you could start and what you could do. So you're never going to be out of options, and that's one of the really positive benefits of being such a creative person. But again, the negative to being a creative is the burnout, and it is the paralysis of like not feeling like you can start that project. But you know, there's lots of resources out there, even YouTube, just, you know, to look up ways to kind of climb out of that stuck energy you get when you are a creative person. So don't worry, there are solutions to that if you really do resonate with the feeling of being stuck and like you don't know how to get started on a project. There are ways around that. So don't stress too much. Okay, and let's get into why this power came into Palfrey's life. Okay, interesting. So you actually got 2 cards. So you have rainbow fluorite and malachite, which is the crystal that I have put down for everyone's pile. And this one has the number 2, and it says, my connection to my higher self keeps me calm and focused, and its grounding increases and enhances intuition and manifestation. Third eye, crown and throat, Capricorn and Pisces. And then you also have, I recognize and expand my potential. I welcome positive transformation into my life. Amplifies, balances, protects, heals. Heart chakra, Capricorn and Scorpio. 2 Capricorn energies here. Okay, so I think the reason this power came to you is to teach you, like almost in a kind of cosmic or karmic test, is to kind of teach you how to be calm and grounded and focused. You've almost been thrown this hurdle of like, here's 100 ideas, good luck focusing on one and, you know, dedicating yourself and committing to this one kind of task. Good luck with that. Like, that's kind of what the universe has thrown at you. So you're kind of being tested to see if you can commit, if you can stand up to the challenge and actually follow a project all the way through and dedicate yourself to it. That's not to say you can't then go on and do other projects. I just think that is a reason why that power came into your life, is to test your commitment and your ability to be calm, focused, grounded, and not have, you know, yourself kind of stuck in the clouds all the time. And then I also think this power ultimately came to you to help you transform into, you know, the person you want to be, and help you realize the life that you want to have, and, you know, realize and recognize the potential you have to be whoever you want to be. Like, the sky's the limit, basically. When you have this kind of creativity, you can apply yourself to anything and really manifest what you want and change your life if that is what you want. And so this has really been given to you to help heal you, to help you learn to be calm and focused, to help you learn your potential, transform, and go into the most positive version of yourself and your life that you could have. Okay, so that was your reading for today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. Thank you. And if you are drawn to any other piles, please feel free to go check those out now. If not, then I hope to see you here next week for another reading. Thanks, bye. Okay, hello Pile 4, welcome to your reading. This is all about your power. So let's get into your cards today. I'm really excited for your reading. I think this wand kept rolling around. It was very annoying. So I was like, I feel like there's a lot of energy under there. Okay, so you have the divine, and you also have self-belief, power, knowledge, and emotions. Yes. Okay. You have an incredibly strong, almost godly, worldly kind of galaxy power. Like, you are completely whole, completely tempered. You are very smart, very emotional, very powerful. Those things give you power, being smart and being emotionally mature and well-rounded and adjusted. That makes you a powerful person. You kind of have equal amounts of eggs in every bucket that you could have. So, for example, you've got like emotions, the mind, the heart, introspection, career, like, and you've got like 5 eggs in each, you know? You're very well balanced. You kind of are completely aligned and attuned to your higher self, which is your power. You know how to connect with your higher self and move into the next phase of your life. It almost comes naturally to you, like breathing. Like, you know when a cycle needs to end, you know when you're about to transform, like you sense when you need to do something and what it is exactly that you need to do. You just kind of go with the flow of life. Like, you kind of ride the wave of life automatically, like very instinctually. It's as easy as breathing to you to kind of learn, grow, and completely immerse yourself in a new version of yourself and your higher self, and to always grow and expand and develop. And you're kind of very insightful, and that's your power. You're just completely whole. You believe in yourself. You know your potential. You know you're divinely protected. You know that you were put here on this earth for you to experience life. At the end of the day, that was the most important thing for you. Like, you are here for you. And I think that is your power, that you completely believe in yourself and the divine. Okay, so let's see what positive things does this power bring in for Pile 4. Grace. And what are the potential negative side effects of this power for Pile 4? Okay, you have the 9 of Spring. We've literally exclusively had spring cards, like, in this reading. Spring and summer. So spring kind of represents wands. Well, it, like, kind of represents wands. It's not necessarily supposed to. Okay. I think with this Grace card here, because you have so much self-belief, you're really assured and you know who you are and you know you're divinely protected, so you kind of don't have the sort of the crises that other people have. You don't sort of mistreat yourself because you know your worth. You don't put yourself in situations where you are being mistreated or find yourself in those situations easily, because you know that you deserve better and you know how to respect yourself because you do believe in yourself. And so for you, one of the positive things about this power is that you're able to recognize when someone else doesn't believe in themselves. You're able to see that so clearly because it's such a contrast to the way you live your life, and you're able to extend like a level of compassion and kindness and patience towards these people in those situations, so that you can almost teach them to have their own self-belief and to grow internally and have that introspection. You almost extend this divine energy and power to other people. You know, like, I don't know, there was this book when I was a kid. It was like this fish with like 100 like rainbow scales. I don't remember it now, but like it had to share its scales with everybody else. to like be a kind person and stuff. I feel like that's you with your power. Like you have like 100 shiny sort of like holographic scales and no one else has any. And so you're kind of, every time you meet someone who's missing a scale, you take one of yours and give it to them. And it doesn't deplete you because you've got hundreds, you're absolutely fine. But it does improve that person. So I think you're able to kind of almost embody that energy and help the people around you to be really like self-respecting and support themselves and actually realize that they have potential and deserve so much more than maybe what they're going through at the time. And that's one of the really good things about your power, is that it brings in this kind of compassion that makes you feel really good about yourself but also helps other people. I think you were given this power to help others, which is really lovely. Like here you're like kind of smelling the roses, enjoying life, walking along this path that would be really difficult to others to not look down at and to not pay attention to, but you're not even looking at it and you're walking it perfectly fine. But for others, that would be really difficult, and for you, it's really easy. And there are people off on the sidelines here who are like, you know what, I can't even walk on that, and I can't smell the roses, and they're just kind of in the dark, and you kind of light the way for them and kind of show them how to do it. Essentially, you kind of set an example, if that makes sense, which is a really great thing about this power. And I think one of the potentially negative side effects of having so much self-belief, and being so divinely in tune with your higher self, is that you kind of cut off situations preemptively, almost assuming that they won't be good for you, or that the karmic lesson within that situation is not worth it because you're already like ahead of the game. But then you're almost bystepping the really good learning opportunity that you had there. So for example, say like, this is just an example, this might not apply specifically, but this is just to give you kind of an idea of what I'm meaning. But say you have an opportunity to take on a job that you don't really want to do, you don't really feel like it's right for you, and maybe you even feel like it's beneath you, and so you say no to it, and then you apply yourself to a different job. In not taking that job, you miss a crucial opportunity to have compassion for the people who do that job. And you also miss an opportunity to learn that this job as an experience isn't easy. And so then you miss out on realizing that like the people in these jobs deserve a lot of respect. And then in bypassing that, you end up missing out on being compassionate and respectful of that position and that situation and that job. And so that's one of like the negative side effects of this power, is that you walk away from opportunities and chances to grow and to learn because you feel like you've grown enough, you've learned enough, you're where you need to be. But really there's always room for growth. Even if you are very like divine, you're in your element, you're very tempered, you're very well rounded and grounded, there's always room for improvement. And so that can kind of make you miss out on being compassionate and helping others, and it can kind of make you a little bit selfish and self-centered and too focused on yourself, and kind of in your own head and in your own world and not thinking about others, which can be a really negative side effect of having a power that is so centered around the self. So that is something to watch out for. Make sure you are taking opportunities that are meant for you, or seizing opportunities to be compassionate and kind and caring towards others, and remembering that other people are just as important as yourself. But again, the positive of this is that you can set an example and help people if you choose to. Okay, so let's see why this power came into Kyle4's life. Oh, okay, you got yellow jasper, and this you got the number 6, and it says, I am sustained and supported during times of stress. I continue to feel a sense of tranquility and wholeness. Detoxify, protection, connection to Mother Earth, solar plexus, Leo, Gemini, Capricorn. That's honestly so fitting to this reading. That's so cute. Okay, so for you, ooh, see, it's on the move. It's on the move. Okay, your wand is just on the move. I'm gonna put it there because that's where it wants to go. Okay, so for you, I feel like this power came into your life so that when there are stressful moments or difficulties in your life, maybe your life is kind of prone to stressful situations, you're able to become really grounded and be like, it's okay, I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to try and work on feeling really peaceful and whole and reflect on the things I do have, which is myself. I have these great internal resources that can help me through this time. And it almost gives you a sense of inner peace, so that you're not kind of overtaken by the difficulties and the stresses and strains of life. It helps you to remain really like clear and like cleansed, if that makes sense, and really you realize that you are protected. It helps you to feel protected by the divine, and it helps you feel really grounded and connected to the earth. As I said, you kind of, it's natural to you to kind of feel this connection with earth. You kind of just breathe with it and kind of ride this wave of life really effortlessly, as easy as breathing. So I think for you, this power was supposed to help you feel peace at tumultuous times in your life, or just throughout life in general, and to be able to walk these difficult paths with complete ease, and focus on other things instead. Focus on transforming and helping others, without paying attention to this really like difficult, narrow road, and kind of enjoy the important parts of life, the sort of the small, humble pleasures of life, basically. Okay, powerful. So that was your reading. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you were drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I do hope to see you next week for another reading. Peace. Bye.